everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge Podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Jai. Hi.
Hey, what's up? We're excited. We're talking about Buffalo 66 today. Directed, starring, composed, blah, blah, by Vincent Gallo. Like, does everything. Except for being amazingly amazing, like Christina Ricci, who's also in this movie.
I'm glad she's in it.
God, her outfit the whole time. I'm like,
Her makeup.
So
her makeup is everything.
So cool. She's the only one who can wear blue eyeshadow.
I know. Well, it is a tricky one. Definitely a tricky look. Like, I've tried it on before and I look very silly, but
yeah, I don't think I've ever tried it. I mean, I'd like to. It's cool.
It was so perfect as well.
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, we're so excited to talk about this one. This is from 1998, so we're still in the 90s heavy. A few little housekeeping podcast notes. Obviously, follow, like, and subscribe and all that jazz. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. I think like one other person did. So just, if you're listening on Apple right now, just tap the stars and give us 5 stars and write something. That'd be really great too. And then also, I've started putting in a new kind of implementation and rule that I'm going to do one movie from the 2000s every month. So on the 1st, I'll announce it on Instagram, which one it's going to be. And then on the 15th of this month, but it's going to be the second Sunday of every month, is when the episode will come out. So next Sunday, or this upcoming Sunday, it's going to be on The Rules of Attraction.
Yay.
So it's exciting. That's on Prime, so you have time to watch it if you haven't seen it, or look it up or whatever, because that's going to come out on Sunday. So that's exciting. That one was a poll. It was between Rules of Attraction or Party Monster, and people overwhelmingly wanted Rules of Attraction.
I don't think Party Monster is like a really big. I mean, it's definitely a cool classic, but I could totally see why that decision there.
Yeah, why people wanted Rules of Attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that should be really cool. So I'm excited about that. And I guess that's my only like housekeeping note, really. Follow on Instagram at Fashion Grunge Pod. I have to post again. I'm really bad about it. We're post election. This is the last episode I recorded was before we knew who was president.
Oh, no way. I was
yes,
about that.
Thank the fucking Lord.
Well, I also haven't done a podcast with you in a while.
I know.
It's like, what's new? Well, we have a new president. Well, president-elect, I guess. But
oh, God, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's still a mess, but hopefully we're kind of getting out of the mud a little bit.
Yeah, and at least we had 5 minutes of absolute happiness, on Saturday.
I know.
Not really 5 minutes, but it was whole day. It was just so amazing and such a great vibe. And
the memes have been out of control. If anyone's been on the internet, they're just insane memes going around everywhere. It's kind of crazy, but it feels good. You know, I mean, I don't want to get too over your skis. I don't want to look too far ahead, but it seems promising now. You know,
it does. I mean, I definitely think we all know it's going to be 2 very challenging months ahead, but
yeah,
hopefully everything will be fine by January 20th. You know.
I know. I wish we didn't have Corona, because this would be the most ridiculous fucking inauguration. It probably still is.
I want to be there, but no, I don't know. I have months to think about it, whether it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would do. They might not do a real in-person one. I mean, January is we're probably still gonna have this virus, so I don't know. But yeah, it should be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this movie too. And I watched it. I guess I'll talk about my first thoughts, since I was watching it last night, and I haven't seen this film since I was probably in school, university.
Oh, wow.
So I think I was probably 2001 or 2002, something like that. So it's been a long time, and I'm definitely a different person from when I first watched this, because I think when I first watched it, I really like Christina Ricci. So that's probably the reason why I watched it. And I didn't know who Vincent Gallo was. And I still don't really know who Vincent Gallo is. He doesn't do that much, even now. But I I was like, oh, okay, like she just looks really great. This is a really weird story, but okay. And then watching it again last night, I was like, oh, this is kind of tough. Like, he's a really polarizing character,
Yeah.
like in the film, and it's not in any way like even mean, funny, endearing. It's very like kind of upsetting a little bit.
Mm.
So I think it's just because of life experience that I'm just
Very older, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I'm like, ugh, I don't know. Like, this has a weird. It's a very strange film. Like, this is a really strange film in the way that the story is an interesting story. There are lots of little kind of like the way that they kind of introduce characters. I love just the style. Like a
mm,
lot of the like Super 8, like the cutaways, the close-ups, the way that it looks aesthetically. But then when you think about emotionally, it's kind of different.
yeah. No, I wonder if he is mm, I don't know, like semi autobiographical,
He
or
said it wasn't.
he said it
The only
wasn't.
thing yeah, he said the only thing that was pretty close was, his parents, but
Mm,
he's actually modeled on more of, like, what he would be like if he let his dad influence his life.
mm. So he had like
That's what I
different
read, yeah.
parents and like,
Yeah, I think so. I think his dad was very much like his dad in the show or in the
very, very
movie.
abusive and like, okay.
Yeah, and I think he kind of heightened it that that's who he would be like if he was still around the dad, but he said mostly on good days he's a lot like the last 5 minutes of the movie. That's what he said in an interview.
Mm,
So he's not really like this mean guy, although he plays it really well.
yeah.
Like pretty convincingly well. But what did you think? What's your like history with it?
I've seen this film twice before last night, and I don't remember the first, like when I watched it the first time, but I remember watching it like in 2009 or 2010, like the second time. And I was by myself, obviously, like must have been like, I don't know, in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. And I got it in a DVD. I remember that it came in like lovefilm.com, which is like Netflix, but
Oh,
they
it's like
used to like
Netflix?
send you the DVDs and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, again, I guess I didn't really have much context back then either. Like I just loved. I knew like you, like it is a weird film, but I just love the aesthetic so much. I love the cinematography. Like
Mhm.
it's just so beautiful, you know. And I always used to think if I was to make a film, I think it would be like this.
Yeah, if I were to work on a film, I want it to be like
I
that.
want to make a film that is really, I mean, and it's not just like the style because it doesn't lack substance. It's not like other films that are just like really beautiful, like cool. But I think it's a good story, you know. I just think it's hard to watch at times. Like he's just very like intense and he's just. I mean, I think the beginning is the probably the hardest part when he kidnaps Christina Ricci.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part. That's like really, it looks so real, you know?
yeah. And especially when he like when she grabs her out of the building, like the dance class, and then she goes to the car and he like makes her clean the
I
windshield.
know.
And the
Oh,
way that he
God.
does it, he's like forcing her to do it, and like he's behind her and he's like, clean that thing, like you've never cleaned anything in your life, like you're fucking like your house is dirty, blah blah blah. I was like, what?
That sequence is like really hard. Like it makes me cringe. It's
Yeah.
like I feel
I was
it
like,
in my stomach, you know, because I have met people who are in abusive relationships, kind of like that, you know?
totally. I've dated people
Oh, yeah.
exactly like
Yeah.
this. Like literally every maybe like 4 minutes, it's like a diatribe of like what you did wrong. It's like you literally are always doing something wrong, whether or not you opened the door wrong or you didn't do this right. Like it's crazy. Like and this
Mhm.
is totally exists. And if anyone has not seen this film, I mean you probably have if you're listening to this, but I don't think it's one of those things that is one of those kind of sometimes we review films here because we're doing a lot of films in the 90s, so we've definitely evolved a lot as a society with like what we kind of find acceptable and what are kind of problematic themes and things that would never happen today. And I don't want to say that this movie wouldn't be made today, but it definitely would have a lot more noise, I think, made about it
Yeah, for
than
sure. For
and I
sure.
mean, I was also young when this came out. I wasn't like in my 20s, so I don't really know to the extent of how much promotion it had. But also, we didn't have social media and like whatever, so it would be in
No.
like magazines or whatever. Like, but it was indie anyway. It wasn't like a
Yeah.
massive film. But it just seems so.
Yeah. But that's what I've noticed. Like, I remember last night watching it, thinking, I know that I didn't feel this uncomfortable when I watched it last.
Yeah,
And it
totally.
just shows, like, because times have changed, and it just shows, like, how back then you kind of thought, oh, this is kind of not like normal almost.
Yeah, or like not
Like,
upsetting.
it's not like weird or like odd at all. Like, of course, like, you know what I mean? And I just
Yeah,
seemed more shocked last night, to be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I just think like the cinematography is just so beautiful, and like Christina Ricci's performance is so great. And
probably because it's real. As we
well,
learned reading through that, like most of it is kind of real reactions to how he's treating her and everything, which is just crazy.
I
Um,
know.
what did you find for behind the scenes? What are
Behind the
your
scenes.
notes?
Sorry, can I just add one comment to that? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
I have to say, like last night watching it, I thought, okay, I remember this movie vaguely, but when he comes out of jail, I literally thought, okay, he looks like a Celine model that's just stepped out of the catwalk.
I know, even his outfit.
It's insane. Like his hair, like the styling, the everything. I mean, and he just looks obviously like a model. So
Like Eddie Slavon
totally,
just like
totally.
picked him.
Yeah, that was my first thought last night about the film. Like, okay.
This is a Saint Laurent campaign.
I forgot
Like,
how good it was. Like his fashion sense and like his vision, really, because that's all him. Again,
yeah,
he
yeah.
styled it and everything.
Even Christina?
He actually designed Christina Ricci's outfit.
Wow.
Like he was like, I mean, I don't know what they mean by designing. I don't know if he literally just drew and sketched the dress how he wanted it, but he had the whole idea for the outfit, like the whole styling and everything.
Yeah, like the color, I'm sure.
Which is insane. I mean, he's obviously super talented. Like, that's not that
Yeah,
about it.
that's so crazy.
But anyway, okay. Production.
Yeah, what did you find?
I think you should start because we're gonna have
Me? We're
yeah,
gonna have a lot of the same. Okay. Well,
yeah,
I know that let's see, a lot of the he has a history of with film critics. A lot of film critics don't really like his films. We were talking off air about Brown Bunny, the next feature that he did with Chloe 70. I think that was '03, and he that was in Cannes, and I think it was like Siskel and Ebert, who were like two big critics at the time, were saying that it was like the worst film ever. And then with Buffalo, they really liked it because they thought it was kind of self-indulgent and pretentious,
Hmm.
but they kind of felt like they saw beneath it, and they kind of saw like what he was trying to do. Obviously, all these big actresses, like Angelica Houston and like Christina Ricci, like they're notable people in it. It wasn't just like complete indie. And then CNN called it laughably repetitive and blatantly pretentious.
Mm,
That's what CNN is quoted as saying about it. He used a lot of like Super 8 film and flashbacks to kind of like tell the story, which really is what the critics believe, that the story is really about him, about Billy
yeah.
and like his childhood, and you kind of see how he got to where he was. I didn't really read that. I didn't read that like his behavior could be explained in any way by that. I still didn't really know where it was coming from. I mean, I know that the father is really checked out and the mom is also in her own world being obsessed with the Buffalo Bills, but like I didn't read that like his behavior made sense from the two of them. But I
Mm,
mean, I don't know how he got like that, but of course, obviously he went through a lot in jail and everything too. So that was a
yeah.
whole other thing. But Gallo also marked himself the new darling of American art house after Harmony Korine and Larry Clark.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's like he dubbed himself that in an interview around the time it came out. Scenes from the family home were actually shot in his own family home in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
that's really
Yeah.
cool though.
That's super cool. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I was gonna say I really liked the room where the dad was singing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
with the red walls and, like, just that weird bed, like, it just had really weird furniture and really old,
It's
like
just really old, yeah.
yeah, like, 70s, I guess?
Yeah.
Like, 70s style. The cinematography was shot by Spike Jonze's cinematographer, Lance Accord,
Hmm.
and I think he fired the original guy.
Yeah, the original guy was like Dick Pope, and then he fired him during pre-production.
He didn't say why though, did it?
I didn't see that anywhere, but someone else suggested Lance like Aker or Aker, whatever. How do you pronounce it?
I just said Accord, but it could
Yeah.
be Accord, I have no
Uh,
idea. Yeah.
I have no idea. um, yeah, just like
Yeah, what I have some more, but what else do you have?
yeah, just that he was a bit difficult to work with,
Yeah,
and
I've heard that.
he obviously started by firing the other cinematographer, and then once this other guy was on board, he also he basically wasn't afraid to talk about it. Basically, he publicly like kind of said like he doesn't have any idea, not conceptual ideas at all, no aesthetic point of view, and it seems that that was a pattern for like the rest of the cast as well, you know.
Yeah, so, like, I really wanna know what that set was like.
I don't know how you shoot a film when literally everyone on set has like difficulties to work with you as a director and
Yeah,
producer and everything else.
an actor and, like, everything.
It must be very challenging, like especially women. For women back then, like it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have a
totally.
guy, a male, who is in absolute control of this, and I don't know. I think it's really tough.
And also, it's must be really weird too because I mean, I obviously can't imagine being an actress at all, but if I was on a movie like this, I'd be like, this isn't even like a big director. Like, like this
Yeah.
is someone that I should be afraid of that I would think because
Mm.
I'm not dealing with Spielberg here, where like if I mess up something, my whole career is gone. But of course, I don't want to walk off either because, I don't want to be known as difficult. So, it just feels like it's so weird. Like, how do you win?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, it wasn't just difficult in the sense of, like a lot of directors are like perfectionists. They
Mhm.
will shoot scenes like 100 times.
Like
Um,
David Fincher.
yeah, this was like another kind of difficult because he also didn't seem like the nicest person. Like,
Yeah.
he like. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bully because I don't know, but by some of the remarks that he made, it was kind of like that kind of behavior, kind of abusive a
Yeah.
little bit, like um, very harsh comments about the cast and the cinematographer, and he openly talked about it in like in magazines and stuff
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna
years
say
to
this is
come after
not
the film. Yeah,
yeah, this isn't like speculation. He's
yeah.
definitely
I mean,
forthright.
he literally took credit for the cinematography. He said that the guy basically was just there, but he kind of had control and like um I don't know. It's quite tough. Yeah, who knows? It'll be interesting to talk
To
to
the people working there.
yeah, exactly now,
Yeah, I'm kinda curious about that.
But I mean, that's great. I mean, he obviously is that the direct was a director and like kind of co-writer and everything, but someone else edited the movie. So I feel like editing as well. That you had to give that person credit for how the film looks at the end of the
That's a
day. Like, you
huge
really can make or break
yeah.
a film.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, I would think.
I
I
think
think that'd be a
so.
huge part of it. I also read that he was actually mean to Christina Ricci to get into character, and sometimes she didn't know it. So she was, like,
Oh,
really thrown off by it. She says it and she found it really scary, and she said that in, like, an interview on Conan in '98, that she just had, like, a really, like, awful experience and that she would never work with him again. Like, even another director signing on to do something would not get her to work with him again.
yeah. She seems so sweet and like
So
naive. Like that's how she came across, like in the movie. I mean, I'm not saying that she's like that in real life, but when you watch the film and then you read all these things, you wonder like that is just more than acting. It's kind of like like what you said earlier, she was just kind of experiencing those emotions, probably, like
Yeah. I
she
don't
was
know if it was a
afraid.
method thing. Like, was he trying to like be method actor on her and be
But
like,
then
all right,
he
I'm
could have said that, and he didn't. He
well,
just
yeah,
said
that's
that
true.
she was like
After
a
yeah,
puppet,
he
that she
could
didn't know
have
what to do.
yeah, but it was like I didn't find any information on casting. Like, how did he cast? Like, was he looking for a certain kind of person? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know how it was. It was, and I guess it also worked in his advantage that he was unknown, so you wouldn't have people saying no. You wouldn't have people
Yeah.
being like, "No, I did a movie with him. I don't want to work with him." It was like, "Oh, okay. Like he's new. Oh, it's his whole concept. Oh, this is cool, and it's independent. It's not like
Hmm.
you have to do anything by the rules." So.
Well,
Um,
but I think he had like a lot of credibility as an actor by then anyway. It's like
Oh, that's right, because he'd been in like some random thing.
he's been on big stuff. Like the first time I ever saw him in anything was The House of the Spirits. Have you seen that?
Nope. I'm gonna look at his IMDb right now and see if I've
It's
seen it.
so yeah, it's like old. It's like early 90s. I don't know exactly when it came out, but it was definitely early 90s. Is Meryl Streep is in it. I'm pretty sure it's Winona Ryder, and he plays the bad guy, obviously. And I remember watching that film and be left with this sort of like, similar to Kevin Spacey when he plays like a bad guy, and how
Sweet
like it really
Jesus.
kind of like stays with you forever.
Yeah. Hey, okay. So we're talking about other things that you've seen him in. I just looked at his IMDb. I don't think I've actually seen him in anything.
Oh, you haven't?
I
Okay.
don't think so. No.
That's a really good film.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
House of
watch
the
it.
Spirits is great. And that is the first time I ever saw him on anything.
Oh.
And he plays a bad guy, and it's so believable. And it's kind of the type of performance that makes you really dislike an actor because he played that character so well.
Oh, you're saying just about like Kevin Spacey.
In
You're like
Seven,
when he
yeah.
plays,
When
yeah.
well, Seven and American Beauty, I found that his character so disturbing in that film, and I
In
kind of
American Beauty?
yeah,
Did you?
just creepy. Yeah, just really creepy.
He was creepy, but it was really funny though. I mean, like in bits were funny, like when he was at the fast food
I
place
know,
and
but I
stuff.
think when I was younger, that was literally like one of my biggest nightmares, like like having an older person, like a friend's dad or something
Yeah,
like
that is
that,
pretty
kind of.
fucking sketch.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was always afraid of that, and like I met a
Weird
lot of
film.
curvy men, and he just totally fit in that description. Very
He has
similar
that
to.
vibe.
Well, yeah. Now,
And I'm watching. It was a bad idea to start watching House of Cards like during election
well,
season.
I could have told you that. Why are you
I
watching that
know.
show right now?
Well, I don't know. I guess I was like, oh, I kind of want to see like what a functioning government looks like, even though all this fucking crazy shit goes on. And now I'm just like, wow, it's like it couldn't get any worse. Just like the story just keeps,
Well, it can
descending.
just keep watching. Yeah.
I know everyone keeps saying, "Oh, how far are you?" Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse, and it does. It just gets worse. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything with him in it. I'm looking right now. I really don't think I've seen
Yeah,
anything.
there's another film actually that he was in that was incredible. I can't
Arizona Dream.
something Killing. I can't remember it.
Arizona Dream is one I've heard about that I really want to see. Johnny Depp's in it. It says
Oh,
a young New Yorker goes to Arizona where he finds freedom to both love and dream. Sounds kind of cool. Johnny Depp, 1993, in. We'll definitely watch. Oh, you have to watch Benny and June too.
I know. Yeah, it looked great.
We
I
should
had to watch it.
we should actually do that. Like we should review Benny and
Yeah, we
June
should.
because
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's so
definitely.
good, so cute.
I've been just watching like news and like following
Oh
the
yeah.
election for like like far too long. I didn't even watch any movies. Last time I watched anything was like Halloween. You know.
I've just been watching movies like for the pod.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the only ones I've been watching. Oh, do you have any more behind the scenes? I have a few more notes.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you know that song that Billy's father sings to Layla.
Fools Rush In.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
apparently that was sung by Vincent Gallo.
Oh, was it?
Sorry, Vincent Gallo's father. real life. Yeah,
Oh, in real life, like that real tape.
that was like his dad. Crazy,
Oh,
right?
wow. That's weird.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Oh, that's cool.
I know because it sounds so like professional.
Like Frank Sinatra or like
It
Dean
does. Yeah, I
Martin
was
or
like, this is
something.
a good song. Yeah.
Cool. I always think every time I hear that song, I always think of Marie Antoinette
Oh yeah,
because they did that cover. I forgot who
yeah,
did the cover of it. But
yeah.
yeah, I
That's the
remember.
thing, like the cinematographer for this film, he's done like so much. He's actually really cool. He like
Yeah, he works with Spike Jones.
Yeah, but also he did like so many music videos. I mean, he's known more for commercials. He's won awards for commercials actually for big like brands, but he's worked on a lot of music videos, including like Bjork.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And Marie Antoinette.
yeah, and that fantasy film. Oh,
Lost in Translation.
well,
Where the
that
Wild Things
that
Are.
where the wild things are, which I watched
Yeah.
and actually was kind of cute. Yeah, so I mean, the fact that he said he doesn't have any talent, any ideas, I'm like, I find that hard to believe because clearly this guy is very talented. But
Yeah, he works with Spike Jones. I mean,
yeah,
Spike
and
Jones is
he,
probably one of the most, he's a
of
visionary.
course, but you know who he started his career by assisting this massive photographer,
Bruce
Bruce.
Weber.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, the guy is talented, regardless what happened in his private life. he,
Yeah, somewhat public or tons of male models have come out against him.
I know, but
Yeah,
let's just
sketchy.
say,
But yeah, he definitely is like one of the, yeah, like one of the biggest like contemporary
yeah, of
photographers.
course.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that everyone
There's
else seems
no
to be
way.
like not talented, according to Vincent Gallo.
Yeah, there's no way that he didn't do anything because like yeah, before all of this, he's done so even before
Yeah, of
like to do
course.
all of this. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
his first thing,
No,
so
I know. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have actually.
cool. Well, I have that Vincent Gallo was broke after the release and he got like no job offers. Apparently, the movie had a $1.5 million budget and made 2.5 million. So it
Yeah,
actually
no.
made a bit
Well,
more.
he made it like a million, I guess.
Well, I'm sure he had to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that much they got paid. I wonder if the actors just got paid like 20 grand or something. Because they're big.
Well, I only found one of the actor's salary actually.
Oh, who?
Mickey's.
Mickey Rourke?
Yeah.
Well, how much did he get paid? He literally said like one thing.
Apparently, he got paid 100,000 in
What?
a paper bag.
No.
Apparently he said in an interview, Mickey, like he he got paid like 100,000 like cash in a paper bag.
What?
I
Oh
know,
my god. How weird.
I know, so weird.
God, how fucking weird. Mickey Rourke. He definitely like had a really like cool vibe like very early
He
on.
did.
And then he just got
Gosh,
so much work
I
done.
know,
It
but
was for
can
men
we
to
just
get work
talk
done.
about how beautiful he was?
I
He
know.
actually
It's
was
like
hot.
yeah, and then like when men get work done, there's just something about it. It's a very different vibe than when women get work done. I
Yeah.
don't know how to describe it, but
But
it's
I
just
feel like he was
weird.
definitely one of the first ones, one of the first male actors to get work done like that.
That we know about.
That
That
we
was like
know.
public, yeah.
Well, but a lot of, to be fair, in his defense, like a lot of the reason why he had to have all this work done was because he used to box and he got like
Oh, is that why?
the beginning. I don't know after that, but
Oh.
he was really into boxing and I think he had his nose broken and other things. I don't know.
So many people, or like guys specifically. I don't know much about like women boxers, but so many of the guys I know, like two male boxers, not like know them very well, but know of them. It's always like really pretty guys. I'm like, why are you like gonna
Yeah,
get your face
it is.
smashed
And
in?
I'm pretty girls, honestly.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't know any in real life,
Well,
but like
I
real
did
people.
boxing
But
for 2 years.
oh no
And
way!
yeah,
I've always wanted to.
and basically like one of the most prominent boxes there where I was training was this girl, Lisa, and she's so beautiful. Like she has the most like incredible face, beautiful, perfect nose, just beautiful, and it's just
Why do you want to get
amazing.
hit?
I
It's like,
don't
why
know,
do you want to get
but
like
yeah,
hit
we
up?
are with other obviously women, and at the end, I remember thinking I really like doing it, but I didn't want to pursue it because I cared too much about my face. I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
get my nose broken,
I want to box like with the bag. I don't really want to spar. Like I'm not really trying to spar with anyone because I don't want to get hit. Like I don't want to get hit in the head or
Mm,
something crazy happen. But I just want to like be on the bag, and like all that kind of stuff. I don't think I want to like spar with anyone.
well, yeah, but eventually, after you've been doing it for a while, you just have to, because it gets more serious and you had to like compete and stuff.
Yeah, if you want to go that route. I don't want to go that route. I just want to like hit the punching bag.
Yeah. Anyway,
Pretty
so
much.
he got paid 100,000. So who knows?
That's crazy. I wonder what Christina got or Angelica Houston.
I don't know, 300,000. I don't know. I think
But then the movie's 1.5.
I feel like they all did it really because they like the concept and because you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think that's with indie films. That's kind of how it works.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the only last thing I have was that it was shot on super ancient film stock, which is
Yeah,
really fucking cool.
it
And it was
is.
almost impossible to develop it because it was developed for news photographers. So
Yeah.
it was like reversal film. So I think it's almost impossible to make multiple prints out of it like you do when you use movie film. So when you shoot with this kind of stock, you had to light it perfectly because there's no room for error or color grading
Mm-hmm.
in post. So he said that like everything had to be lit completely perfect, otherwise it wouldn't come out. So that's why it's just fucking amazing. Like the way that it looks,
It looks so
colors are
incredible.
so
Yeah.
luminous and just the
Oh,
lighting throughout. There's certain scenes that you're just like, oh, this is
I
so
know. But
cool.
even when they're outside and it looks like just like the trees and stuff, it looks so dreamy, like because
Hmm.
it's winter and they're like naked trees around and yeah, I mean it's just so beautiful. It's
It was really
so
cool.
actually now that we're talking about this, I just remembered that's the reason why the first cinematographer got fired because he didn't
Oh,
when he was told that he was going to be on a reversal stock film or whatever, he refused because apparently Vincent Gallo didn't even know where he could get it developed or like processed.
even
And
while they like when they were gonna shoot it.
yeah, that he didn't, and the cinematographer really put his foot down and said, "This is crazy. It is too much of a risk to shoot everything on this," and so that's why.
Could you imagine if you shot an entire film and then you're just like, it's just sitting in the can because you don't know where to develop it? Or like you thought you did, and then they're like, "Oh no, sorry, we
Well,
don't."
yes, but I also feel like you figured out a way. I mean, I feel like, especially knowing this guy, his personality, like he would have found a way to do it, but it's still quite risky, I guess, as a cinematographer to be like, okay, this guy is nuts.
Yeah, with that guy, right? Because isn't he pretty big too?
I
The
don't know.
original
I
guy.
don't know what else he's done. Dick Pope, like, don't know, but
I think he's done some stuff. I think. I wonder how.
no, he's
Yeah,
he's done a lot.
did the Illusionist, but that was
Yeah,
pretty
he's
recent.
done a
Oh,
lot.
he's from Kent.
He's from Kent. Oh,
Hmm.
I
Let's
that's
see.
the very first place I lived in, but not Bromley. I live in like
Oh, he did a
um
lot. A lot of English things, I think.
Life is Sweet, Dark City.
Naked, Awfully Big Adventure. I think Naked's one of those movies that's on my list to see. Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It's like supposed to be really fucking
Oh,
weird.
it's Turner. Okay.
And it
That,
has that guy from yeah, and Ewan Bremner's in it.
that is really great.
Cool. Well, that's weird. Well, it's a good thing we got this guy because it seems really fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. And
Cool. That's all I have for behind the scenes.
yeah, same.
Cool. Alrighty. So I have a few plot points and stuff.
Cool.
Okay, so we open with Billy Brown. That's Vincent Gallo's character, and he's getting out of jail, and he is, I guess he's in jail near his house, like pretty not far from his house, as he gets that bus and everything. And he comes out, just like you said, looking like a Celine model with those bright red boots.
That beautiful 60s like jacket. Ugh.
Yeah, like a work kind of jacket, like a workman's jacket, which is pretty cool. And then those like kind of, they weren't denim, they were just pants,
No,
right?
they were actually pants. Yeah, they were like tailored trousers.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I kind of like that. And then I also had to look up I also like the kind of montage when he gets out and they're like photos within photos of prison life.
Oh
And you
yeah.
see those little like moving. A lot of those were Super 8, I read. So he used a lot of Super 8 film, which I really desperately want a Super 8 camera.
Actually, sorry. Like the credits, can we just talk about the intro? Like that's really cool. I totally forgot
Yeah.
to mention that. I love how it starts, and I love the big letters, and like
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, the credits are really cool. It's only like 3 names, I think, and then it's just the title of the film.
It reminds me a lot of like Woody Allen credits.
Yeah,
I
well,
really like Woody Allen credits.
yeah.
They're always like the same.
I
Very
find
cool.
similarities between the two of them a little.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. A little bit. I mean, I think they're similar in some ways, and then obviously very different because I feel like we know so much about Woody Allen's psyche
Mm,
because of the many films that he's made and many iterations of himself that he just constantly makes.
yeah.
And then Vincent Gallo has such a short like filmography, but I feel like we kind of get the same vibe.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But
Mhm.
because I feel like Woody Allen kind of creates the same film over and over.
Yeah.
Like basically, I
Basically,
mean,
I
yeah,
agree.
like the
Mhm.
general like formula, but yeah, no, the intro is really cool. I mean, aesthetically, which is why this is actually I like really talking about films that I find things I don't like about them as much as things I do like about them, because
Mm.
I feel like it's really interesting. I mean, you kind of have to look at things objectively, and it's better than just to be fawning for an hour talking about, oh, this is so great, this is so great, and so is this, and so is this. It's like there are certain things that are, kind of weird about the story, but it's definitely worth watching for
Hmm.
people who haven't seen it. It's a good film. I think it's a good film overall.
I think I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also looked up some information just to add some real life into this. So I was wondering when he got out of jail, I was curious. I do watch a fair amount of things about prison life and like just the kind of like fucked up nature that it is in this country. I don't know what it's
Mm.
like in other countries, but I was wondering how much money that they give you when you get let out of jail. So this
Hmm.
was 1998, so I'm not sure what it was then. It also depends on the state, but I read that the highest in the states now is about $200. The
Wow.
lowest is about 100, but in Texas, they give you a $50 check and whatever money you have on your books. So
Oh.
whatever money people have sent you or whatever, they cash it out and that's what they give you. So it's like, also this whole thing stems from when I was thinking about it, I was like, God, it just really shows you how fucked up like the prison system is.
Yeah.
Like them just giving you $200 and just expecting you to just be on your way when that is nothing and can't even buy you a place to stay. I mean, yeah, for like a week maybe in like a really shitty motel. But like,
Hmm.
how are you supposed to do anything? How are you supposed to get a job, anything really, if you don't have a place to go, So
Yeah, I mean it's really hard. How are you supposed to do anything and to like become like a citizen and part of, just join society really? Like,
yeah, especially when it comes to like lesser crimes, like something like well, this one's a little bit different. Like he had to confess to a crime that he didn't do because he was back on that bookie
oh
bet.
yeah.
But I'm
That's
talking
right.
about like some low level like marijuana possession charge where like you haven't killed anyone, but you still are treated like that when you get out. And that's why so
Mm.
many people defend, because it's like you can't get a job, no one will rent you an apartment. It's like what are you I mean, like what are you supposed to do? It's like how are you supposed to like go on? Just a lot of people become entrepreneurs and stuff, which is which is smart, you know, to like come up with your own business or something like that. But yeah, it's really fucked. So I added that real world knowledge in there. I had to Google that. I do find it pretty hilarious that he has to go to the bathroom really bad, and like the first
Oh,
10 minutes is him just like trying to find the bathroom. And then he like was outside at the bus stop of the jail, and then he goes back to the gate and he's like, "Can I use the bathroom?"
I know. At this point, did you just go to like a quiet alley and do it there?
Well, no, because if you end up getting arrested, that's public indecency and you're
Oh,
back in
that's
jail.
true.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why doesn't he just go? But then I was like, oh no, because if he gets caught, he's literally out of jail for like 30 minutes and he'll just go back in for public indecency. So it's pretty funny. I love how he's looking everywhere. Like he goes into I think like the gas station and they're like, no, it's out of order.
Go to that restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant, the bus station, that one is out of order. The woman's like, oh, there's one down there. And he's like, no, it's not. It's out of order. What the fuck? And he's like screaming and like, oh my God, this hurts so bad. And then he goes out to like that car. Like he's gonna pee behind the car, and then the woman like gets in the car. And then she
Oh
literally
yeah.
everything stops him, which I find really funny. I'm just like, oh my God. And then we see Christina Ricci in that dance class.
Oh
When
my
it looks very much like she's like sitting in on a dance class.
She's like a
Like,
student. Yeah.
yeah, it looks like she's not in it. It looks like she just is there because
I
everyone else
know.
is
Yeah, it's
so
weird how
boring.
it was filmed as well because you don't see like a full frame of her and the girls. You see
Hmm.
the girls first, and then like a close up of her dancing.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. It's like she's not really there.
Yeah.
Like she's like a dream and like a dream. And then I love that he just like, oh, I don't love, but he just assaults her asking for a quarter and goes into this dance room because he's like, I gotta use the bathroom. And then he goes to the bathroom and then he's a fucking asshole in the bathroom. But then just that whole tirade in the beginning where he just starts screaming out the F word at that guy. I was like, oh, that's right, 98. It was like not a big deal to just say that all the
I
time. I
know.
guess. I mean, it was. Let's not trivialize it. It was a big deal, but I guess now it's like you just don't hear that word all the time. But I feel like he just was like, oh, you're this, you're that. Like, get the fuck away from me. I was like, oh God, here we go. That was one of my worst scenes. I think I wrote like anything where Vincent Gallo is just screaming at anybody is in my worst scene. So it's like a lot of the movie.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, so then he just like asks her for a quarter, and the way he asks her is just like he's like, now? Can I have it now? Like runs over to her, like grabs it, and then she's just like, okay, whatever. And then he just runs away, and then he's talking to his mom or something. I think it's his mom. And he's like, yeah, I just got out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like telling her all these crazy stories, crazy lies. The mom's not even listening.
Lights. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm married. I have I'm a government job. I'm gonna be going away for a while. I was like, so they didn't even know that you were in jail? Like, how did they
No,
just
they
not?
don't. But why do you have
Yeah.
to make up that you're like that you have a government job? Like it's weird because you don't look like you work for the government either. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, no, not at all. And like, wouldn't they know the kind of person that he is? Like,
But that's
yeah.
the thing, dad is really abusive, and the mom doesn't really care about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they really know what he gets up to. I don't think they know him.
No, they don't. I love when he's like, Billy, your son? Like she didn't know what it was. Billy, your son. And it's oh my God, it's so funny. It's just so crazy. I wrote, why does he always look so cracked out? Like all the time.
He looks like a heroin addict.
Yeah, he looks,
That's
but
just
also
him. That's
kind
just
of,
what he looks like, even when
but
he's not.
also like I feel like he has the outward aesthetics of a heroin addict look, but his personality is very methy. It's very like it is. It's super methy. It's very like speeded up like crazy. Because if he
Mm,
was really on heroin, he would just be down. Like he would just be like kind of like sleepy.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like he has that look of like dirty, weird, gross, druggy, but then he also has that like super manic, like methy vibe, like his eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't blink. Like it's just
No, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, it's very strange. Um, so I love it. He like lies to his family, says he has a wife, says he has all this bullshit, and then Christina Ricci, I think, is in the bathroom. And
Yes.
then he like lies and says the wife is sick. He's like, yeah, I'm staying at a really expensive hotel downtown. Yeah, I already told you. No, I need to go to the house. No, she can't come. She can't come. No, she's sick. You want me to drag her out of bed? Okay, I'll drag her out of bed physically and bring her to you since you want to see her. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, this is like he's totally spiraling and he's gonna grab Christina Ricci. So then she like comes out of the bathroom and then he just looks at her and I was like, oh God. And then the way he grabs
The
her.
way he grabs her, I felt like violated.
I know. I was like, I'm surprised she didn't like kick him in the nuts or something.
I
Like
know.
I would have. I'm like, get the fuck off me. And like screaming in this dance class. Like I'm in a place where there's another room. And then you see him like struggle her away, like from the room. You know, you see it like in the doorway.
Mhm.
And then we were talking about it earlier, that like fucking horrible ass scene where she takes her down to the car. I do love that her car is a shade of blue too. And it's like this super old beat up car. And then I love that he can't drive stick. So
Oh my
she
God, that
has
whole
to.
dialogue, it's so funny.
It was pretty funny. And then he's like, this car's dirty, it's filthy. And the way that he's just totally like lambasting her for like no reason. And then the more even strange how she I don't know. I feel like how she takes it, I
Mm.
mean, is also very strange, but also it's not really strange, I guess, because no one knows how he would react. You don't know who this person is, you know?
I know. At first you think, okay, maybe she's afraid, but then she could totally driven away when he went to pee.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. So I mean, yeah, it is a weird story, but
And
maybe
I'm like,
you're
where did she
frightened, you
live?
can even do anything. You just don't know how you react.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he didn't show a weapon. Not that I need to see a weapon to be scared, really, you know,
Mm.
like, but when you think of kidnapping, you think of like, here's a knife, like, get in the car, or like, here's a gun, get in the car, go do this, whatever. But like, but he did grab her, you know, and like was struggling with her. I'm like, she could take you, like, you're like skin and bones, like, she literally could take you. She can just kick you, and you'd be out. So then he tells her the whole story. Like, you know, we've got to go to my parents' house, blah, blah, blah. You have to pretend to be my wife, make me look good. I was like, look good?
Oh
You
God.
look insane. You're
Those
like
lines are
dirty.
just insane. Everything he says, like,
It's insane. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. Blah, blah, blah. Make me look good. Make me look good. I was like, this is your real life, huh? This is exactly who you
very
are.
sad. Yeah.
Like, I can see this. This kind of feels like, I feel like a lot of artists in general are just projecting who they want to be in their work, like
Hmm.
throughout their work, you
Well,
know?
exactly. And also it makes sense. Like, it's his first film, like that he directed and everything. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that that will be the first thing that you would do if you make a movie, but yeah, it does seem like it might be kind of close to like his personal experiences, like I don't know,
Yeah.
closer than we think, maybe.
Yeah, of course he says that
Like
it's
he had
not,
abusive
but
parents, or he was neglected or something. I don't know.
or no one really showed him that affection, or like people that he liked, like that girl he talks about he liked in middle school.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, maybe he like never really got that affirmation from anyone,
Mhm.
parents, opposite sex, even friends, you know, like anything. So I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't excuse it, but like you start to kind of understand and make sense. When they get to the house, it's pretty funny. I do like that weird scene when they get to the house, and at first when you walk up, I thought the parents were having sex at
Oh,
first.
that you could hear them.
Yeah,
Like
because you could hear the mom like screaming, like, go, 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 oh, go,
I
go, go.
thought
And then I
I
was
thought they
like,
were fighting, but
yeah, I didn't know. And I was like, are they having sex? No, they're not. And then I saw the house and I was like, oh, football. They're like
mm,
screaming at the TV, like the mom's screaming at the
oh,
TV. Buffalo Bills are a big deal in Buffalo. Shout out if you're up there. It's fucking cold. I feel like it always is. I do want to go to Niagara Falls though. I was talking to my friend the other day about it. I saw this hotel on Instagram that you can stay in that faces the falls.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to be one of those basic internet travel bitches, but this looks cool. Like, I would do this. This looks really cool, especially at night. I feel like it'd be super cool. Or like Northern Lights time. I don't even know if you can see them from there, but it would be cool if you could by the falls. That'd be really neat. So so yeah, so we get to the house and I love how outside he like sits down. He knocks on the door and they like don't answer and he sits down and then he's like, "Can you just hold me for a second?" And then she grabs him and he's like, "Don't touch me, don't touch me."
And it's such a complex.
So weird. It's so strange. But he's like, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." So they go into the house, and I love all of the like transitions when you
Yeah,
get into the house and you see like the different sides of the table. I
yeah,
like
it's
when
really
you see
interesting
her.
how they film that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. You see her, and there's all the pictures in the back. And then I love when she's like, "Can I see some photos of him when he was really young?" And she just like runs with the story. Like she's just like, "I'm gonna have a baby." First, she's gonna have a
Oh my
baby.
God.
Then she's like all this crazy
When she
stuff. And
tells the story of how they met, she just makes this up
I
about
know.
working as a secretary for him, and like, oh my God, yeah, it's cute.
Everyone had a crush on the boss. So like I just had to know. It's so funny. And they like just aren't listening. They just like don't care.
I think that is, but he's just like, whatever.
Yeah, the dad's just like whatever. It was really creepy too when she was like, "I'm pregnant," and the way that he was like she was on his lap.
Sorry, can we talk about that scene where is it then when he sits her on his lap and then kind of like goes between like her boobs
Mm-hmm.
and he
The
goes,
dad.
yeah, that's when it happened, right?
Yeah, I think so because she was like, "I'm pregnant," and I think that's when he like
Oh
grabbed her.
God, yeah,
Yeah, it was really gross. I was like,
that was improvised. I read
"Oh, was it?"
that him doing that, which is totally insane. Like, why?
God bless Christina Ricci. Who
Oh,
knows what the hell she went through? I mean, I can't even
I'm
imagine.
sure
Like,
because he was like back then when so much of that was happening and they could get away with it.
yeah, no
And
one
as an
said
actor, you
anything.
couldn't do much, you know?
Yeah, or at least if you did, you would tell them like this is the film. I'm gonna do X, I'm gonna do this right
Mm.
now. Or like I want to try something in this scene, not just like
God, yeah.
boom, I'm gonna fucking do this and grab you. I mean,
How
I don't.
uncomfortable. Yeah, she must have gone through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think that's why she doesn't want to like probably work with him anymore and thankfully she's like one of the few really that has the kind of opportunity to say what she will and won't do. I mean,
Mm.
so many actresses coming up or even actors. I mean, this goes to the whole spectrum. Like if you don't have the name to back it up, it's
No.
like people are like, well, I won't get any other jobs, I guess I have to do this. It's like really sad.
Yeah, she's a great actress. I really like her.
I love her. You know who I think she reminds me of? She reminds me of like a way more indie and more like dark version of Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, I
It's
know
because
what
they have
you
the
mean.
round face. They
It
have those
is.
like
Yeah,
circular faces. And I feel like Reese Witherspoon's like the good suburban mom,
she
like the
is.
good,
Yeah.
and she's like the dark hair, like Wednesday Adams mom. Who's
But like
like,
what I like about Christina Ricci is that I like the roles that she's gone for, you know? Like you
mhm.
can totally uh, yeah, I mean I think like Reese Witherspoon is like a really good actress, but she definitely has gone for more like you know what I mean? More
She
mainstream.
plays it safe.
Yeah, very safe.
Yeah, she didn't early on. I do love Reese Witherspoon's early catalog.
Mm,
We did Fear a
yeah.
while ago,
Yeah,
which
she
is
was
great.
great. She was
We
great
should
in
do
that.
Freeway with Kiefer Sutherland. That's another one where she was like 16. Her fashion in that is 90s classic. It's so
Oh,
good. Have you
cool.
seen Freeway?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. I think she's like 16 in it or something, but she did really cool things early. And I feel like she kind of morphed once she did Cruel Intentions, probably. I
Mm.
think that's when she like Election, Cruel Intentions, she kind of morphed into like America's Sweetheart.
And but then she does like Legally Blonde and all of those sort of like
Hmm.
commercial, like very commercial mainstream
Yeah, like Moneymakers.
films. Yeah. I kind of have respect for the actors that just do projects they actually believe in and like, rather than just make money.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of some of my favorite actors are like Michael Pitt, like the
Yeah,
ones you just don't see because they
yeah.
just don't say yes to everything.
They don't care about the Hollywood thing either. Like,
Yeah, no,
but did
totally.
you watch that show about the 20s that Christina Ricci's in?
No. Isn't that on Amazon? Is it
It
Amazon?
was, I think it was. I watched it
Oh,
when
I
it
heard of
came
it.
out.
Is it good?
Yeah, she's great. I mean,
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want to see. She's one of those actresses that I want to go and see more. Like I've seen a lot of her films, but I've definitely not seen all. She's in a lot. But
hmm
she's done a ton of films. But there's that movie, Cursed. Have you ever seen that?
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say like she's in some weird ones. Like 200 Cigarettes is another good one, and we just did The Opposite of Sex.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I saw that.
she's
Yeah.
so good in that. And then right after this, she did Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
So that was another weird film. Like
Really.
she definitely put her in that weird box in the 90s. Like she definitely did those like kind of strange like indie comedies and then like indie dramas, but she's cool. We love
Yeah, she's
Christina Ricci.
so cool.
She's super cool. So then, okay, yeah, the dad has that weird thing where he's like, I'm a singer. And she's like, I want to hear your music. So he's like in there. She's in there with the dad and he's singing and doing all this weird shit in that weird 60s bedroom. And then he calls his friend, is it Goon? Is that his name? Is
Yeah,
Goon, but he wants
yeah.
to be called Rocky. Kevin Corrigan, I think is who that is. I
Yeah.
fucking love Kevin Corrigan so much. I love him in Freaks and Geeks when they get those fake IDs.
Oh, that's right. I knew he looked familiar, but I don't know what I've seen him in.
He's also in The Departed.
Is
He's
he?
like, yeah, he's Leonardo DiCaprio's cousin. The
Oh,
Departed in like the beginning. He's in a lot of things. Like he's in a fuck ton of things. But I love him in Freaks and Geeks. I think that might be the first time I saw him was in Freaks and Geeks when he made those fake IDs for them. I really want to have a. I mean, maybe I'll think about doing it probably pretty soon. But I want to create a Patreon for the page just because if someone wants to pay $5 a month, I would love to review Freaks and Geeks
yeah, I
like
know. You
episode
said
by
that.
episode. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to ask on a poll if people want to do Patreon because if people don't want to pay for it, I'll be really sad and crushed. But maybe I will just for like whatever. If people say no, then people say no. I kind of just want to do it anyway because I just love Freaks and Geeks. But and My So-Called Life, like those would be two that I would totally
Yeah, those
review.
are cool shows.
Yeah, and they're one season, so we're not like getting ourselves into like some crazy 100 episode show or anything. So yeah, so he calls his friend. He's like, I have no money. Like I went to jail. He's like, help me. You got to help me find this guy that fucked up my whole life. So the reason why he went to jail is because he's put 10K on the Buffalo Bills in, I think it was like, I forgot what year it was that they were in the Super Bowl, but they lost it from this field goal. This is a real thing. They lost it from this field goal, and this guy Scott Norwood is the guy who actually missed this field goal and like fucked it up. So he didn't get his bet. He didn't have the 10 grand to cover his bet. The bookie is Mickey Rourke that we were talking about. So in order to absolve his debt, he had to admit to a crime he didn't do,
It's crazy.
which is insane. So then that's how he goes to jail. So now he wants revenge on this dude, this football player who literally fucked up his whole life. So he like tells the guy, he's like, yo, where's that guy now? And he's like, well, he owns like a strip bar out on some fucking highway somewhere. And he's like, what? And he's like, I'm gonna fucking get him. And he's like, no, man, like that's crazy. What are you talking about? And he's like, I'm gonna get him, man. He ruined my whole life. So this is like the major point of the story. This is like what he essentially wants to do. So during all this is when she tells him, like, she tells his parents that she's pregnant, which I find so funny. So she's just like, we're gonna have a baby. And he doesn't know, so don't say anything to him yet. And then they both get so excited, like his parents get so excited.
For like
Which is
2 seconds,
I
really.
know, yeah. They're like, oh my god. And then he comes back and then he's just so awful. I'm just like, God, get the fuck out of here. Like someone just take him somewhere. He's just so annoying.
I
So
know.
they finally leave. And then like he fucking starts yelling and berating her in the car, being like, you fucked it up. My parents, why'd you make up all that crazy shit? She's like, what are you talking about? They loved me. Like I did the best job ever. Like, why are you even yelling at me? And I wrote, this constant yelling and berating in this film is so exhausting. Like it's just almost like living in real life. You're
It
just like, shut
is.
the fuck
Yeah.
up. Like, you're so insecure.
Well,
Like,
that's it. Basically, he's like awful, and he gets so much satisfaction out of making like people uncomfortable and like treating them mean. Like.
seems like this is his real life. It seems like it's spilled over into his real life that he just likes to kind of like. I don't know how you could compare. I don't know how you could compare himself to like Harmony Korine and Larry Clark when I I just don't
I
think that like
know. I
I
know.
mean I mean as most people know, like I love Larry Clark's films and his aesthetic, and I know some people think it's fucked up and crazy and weird,
Mhm.
but I feel like he's not telling you anything that's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not making shit up just to be like, "Oh, I'm going to shock you just because you're fucking here and you're watching this." It's like, no, he's using like real life experiences and just kind of really
Mhm.
examining like youth in different ways. And something that a lot of people who are not young cannot do. I mean,
Yeah,
it makes a
that's
lot of
true.
sense to be young and to be like, you see a lot of young photographers on Instagram, whatever, and they're like taking photos of their friends. And you see it's very much like, it's like these are all my friends and youth in this country and youth in this country. And it's really cool. And it's very authentic, but I really love when people who are not in that age bracket can still show the same authenticity. Just because you're not that age right now doesn't mean you can't translate it into something that will make sense for like years to come.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't think Vincent Gallo is like that at all. I
But
don't think.
also, why would you compare? I feel like that's so narcissistic. It's like you saying, "Yeah, I compare my." I mean, I've actually said this to you. Like your your style, like as a photographer, it really reminds me of Corinne Day, and I've said that. But it's different if you were to say that. You know what I mean?
Most artists don't
Don't.
usually say that they're like another artist.
No, that
Yeah,
like.
it's weird. Same with musicians. Like we like talk to Jules about it. Like, do you like when people say, "Oh, you're like this band," or like you're like that? And she's like, "No, I mean like you get inspiration from them, but I'm not them. I mean, everyone's their own person. It's like it's weird that he dubbed himself that. It's one thing if a magazine dubs says
Well,
you're the next
yeah, of
this.
course, it's different. Well, it is and it's not because as we've learned quite a bit about him and like his personal life. Like he clearly is very narcissistic, and I don't even know how you have the confidence to say that to compare yourself to like to really incredible artists.
Yeah, that's true. And that is true.
But there are a lot of people like that. They're really confident, and we
Yeah, I
have
mean,
like so many conversations about that. It's like maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not. Maybe
yeah,
we
maybe
could
I
do
need
with
to
a
know
bit of
that.
that.
Yeah, like hit us up if you're one of those crazy confident people. I mean, I just don't know what it's like. That just hasn't ever been a part of my personality, but yeah, it's a different vibe.
Yeah, you know
Definitely a different vibe.
what really surprises me about the film is the end.
I know.
The
I kind of don't
ending.
believe it. I was kind of waiting for it to be like
I'm
in his
kind of
head.
shocked. Yeah, I'm also like, it's just very surprising. That's all. Compared to like what you see throughout the whole film, and that's how he wanted it to end. It kind of like, oh, maybe he has like a deep down, he,
I feel like I would have believed the end a bit more. I mean, hold on. Well, we'll get there. I just have a few more notes.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, After they leave the parents' house, they go to this bowling alley, which of course explains a lot because what really young dude is like bowling and like takes it super seriously and like has a whole locker there. How long was he away? Do we find out how
five
long?
years, 5 years.
5 years, okay. That's a long time that this guy kept this bowling shit in there.
I
But
know.
he was like, "Where's my ball?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay." I was like, "This explains a lot." I was like, "So this is a weird sport. Is bowling considered a sport or a hobby?"
I
I
don't
have
think
that.
so. No, it's not a sport.
Yeah, it's a hobby, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but they have games though. Like they have bowling leagues and championships. That's like a sport.
Mm.
Yeah, so I feel like it's probably. I think to some people it probably is a sport. I guess think it's a hobby, but I love all the slow motion changes and close ups of their eyes though.
Yeah,
Her makeup, oh, it's so cool.
so
The,
amazing. I mean,
like glimmering, it's so cool.
I don't even know how you do that. Like, also in film, it looks so great because you see all this like glittery bit on like her. Yeah, I mean, she just looks incredible. Like, I can't get over it.
So cool. And the close-ups just make it even
And the
cooler.
shoes. Can we just talk about
I
the shoes?
know, the
Like,
glitter. I know.
I had shoes
The
like that.
tights.
I had shoes exactly like that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was
The
obsessed
glitter
with
come
it.
off?
Yeah, they did a little bit, but not loads.
They're cool, and the tights too.
Yeah,
Like, they're really cool, I
just
like
the whole
those.
vibe. I used to wear stuff like that, like yellow, like pastel tights with like Mary Jane shoes and like very 60s. Yeah.
I used to wear, I'm trying to think of what tights. I used to wear, like, maroon tights a lot.
Oh yeah.
I used to wear, like, darker colors because I don't have, like, the thinnest legs in the world, so I wouldn't wear, like, light colored tights, but I would wear, like, dark green, like, in the fall, like, dark green, dark red, like, maroon, like, a navy. I had the tights with the patterns at American Apparel.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember those Chanel tights that were, like, two-tone?
Oh my God, I had a pair.
I
And
didn't
I
have them
ripped
'cause I didn't
them
have
the first
enough
time
money,
I
but
bought
I
them.
was like, "Oh, those are cool." Oh, you got them?
No, I paid $200 for tights.
You got the Chanel ones?
Yeah, and I ripped them the first time I put them on. And then I
No.
tried to wear them because it was like 2008, I think, and it was the look, you could get away
Yeah.
with wearing ripped tights, but eventually they just had like this massive hole. I just couldn't wear them anymore. I only wore them like 3 or 4 times, honestly.
Oh my
They weren't
gosh.
even like really well made. Like,
Really?
well, clearly not because
Yeah, 'cause they weren't thick. They weren't like that heavy. They weren't like a thicker material.
they looked like they were, but they weren't. They were really quite fragile,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
Yeah, I had
Crazy.
them. I mean,
Wow, that's so cool.
I know I might still have them somewhere, but like I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I definitely never had them. I definitely had like I didn't have that style, but I had like the American Apparel like designs. They had like weird shit with like swirls and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
House of Holland made. I have all the ones that he made.
Oh,
I
cool.
still have them. Obviously, I don't wear them, but I keep them for shoots. So
Oh, they're cool though. Oh, neat. Yeah, so I love those slow motion changes and I love that little like dance scene.
I that's my
And
favorite scene.
yeah, that's one of mine.
The tap dancing scene in the bowling. The way that was filmed,
So cool.
it was all one sequence. It was really beautiful, and that was choreographed by Christina Ricci herself.
Oh, she's so cool.
Yeah.
I want her to do a movie with like Keanu Reeves.
Really?
Kind of. Has she?
I don't
Am I
think
just
so.
like blanking?
So petite. Oh my god.
Or another Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'd love if she did another movie with Johnny Depp. That'd be really cool. Um, so yeah, then we get that cool dancing scene, and then he calls the strip bar and of the guy, who owns the strip bar who he's trying to kill, and he finds out that he's there like really late, like 2 a.m. So we're like, okay, he's gonna go like do this thing. Then they go to that photo booth, which is like one of my favorite things. We're like, we're gonna span time. All right, we're time spanning. So I can like send all these photos to my parents every month for like a year because I'm never coming back
Very
here.
close. Oh god.
And I'm like, so you wearing the same outfit and changing the background and looking exactly the same is supposed to span
I
time?
know. I was thinking
Like,
that too. I was like, they're gonna know you took them at the same time. Like,
yeah. Like, doesn't make any sense. And I love how he's like, we're in love, all right? We gotta look in love. But we're not one of those couples that touch each other. Like, stop touching me. Oh my god. I was like, he's such a weirdo. So that's one of my favorite scenes too, the whole like photo booth thing. I think it's just like really weird. Another 90s moment is photo booths.
yeah. Well, they're
Um,
still around, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean they were like everywhere. I feel like it was
Yeah,
more of a
that's
thing
true. For
in the
sure.
90s. Now they email you the photos. You don't get like the printout.
Oh yeah.
Now they're like, put your
Maybe
email
still
in.
in some places.
Yeah, yeah, they do some places, yeah. I'm sure places that are like more cool and retro, like a
Yeah.
bowling alley probably would.
Well, I in London there are quite a few, but also in Berlin, literally on the street, you
Oh,
can find
cool.
them. Yeah, I've got some pictures from there.
Oh, that's cool. And then they go to Denny's and she's like, I want a hot chocolate.
I've
Because I
never
think
been to Denny's. Can we go?
I mean, yeah, it's really shitty. It's literally like like IHOP. You've
I
been
don't know what that is.
Oh, you haven't been to IHOP?
Mm-mm.
International House of Pancakes?
No.
And we don't have the digestive systems of 19-year-olds anymore, but if I was Denny's and IHOP is like where you go when you get like shit faced because they're open 24 hours. So it's
Oh.
like where you go when you get shit faced in the middle of the night and you don't want, like, you just, yeah, you get shit faced in the middle of the night and you want food, and it's
You
like a
can also
diner.
take me just so I can take
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
like
let's go.
my like US things to do,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
living in
totally.
America sort of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, we should go, and we should. I was thinking about it when I was watching this scene in particular because, like, I'm assuming it's getting later and later. Oh wait, another addendum. I do love the fact that she gets like strikes when she bowls.
Oh,
Like he bowled like perfectly, which
yeah.
is
Okay,
nice.
so when I have to say I love that so much when she actually strikes, and she did this really super cute thing where she kind of like got her tongue out. She was like, "Yay!" And it was so cute. Do you remember?
Yeah,
I love what she did, her expression. It was very real. Like
yeah,
she
it
was
was
just like,
super.
"Look, you idiot, I can do it too," you know?
Yeah. And he's like, "Ugh, whatever." Like how
Yeah.
every guy is if a girl beats him at anything. Like literally every fucking thing. Even if you know how to like get better directions or like order do literally anything better. Like I one of my greatest pleasures in life is like beating guys at like video games. I love when they think that like girls can't do anything or even driving.
Hmm.
Like I just it makes me so like not happy, but I just feel so like yes, you can't do everything. You think you can, but you can't. I'll let you think you can for a while, but always know that I can still do it if I have to.
Yeah.
Like it's really funny. So yeah, the Denny's is this is great. Denny's and IHOP. We've actually made a list for anyone out there who actually cares. We've made a list of like things, American things that Jai needs to do. So now I need to add. We did go to like a 50s style diner.
We
So
did.
now
I'm
I
so
need.
glad.
Yeah, we need to go to like an older one though. That one's like a bit of a refurb. We need to go to like a really old one. But that's another one. Denny's and IHOP. Okay.
We need to
Cool.
do the motel on a road trip.
Oh, I know. I want to go to like a really shady motel. This just sounds weird. I'm like, I really want to go to a shady motel. I want to take photos in the shady motel. I
Yeah,
don't
I
just
don't
want
want to sleep in them because
yeah,
I
I
have
don't want to
dogs.
sit on the bed or any like
No.
crazy shit like that, but I just want to take photos in it. And I love when you go to the Denny's too. I love the vibe of a place like a Denny's after like 2 in the morning because
Mm.
I would love to do a photo series on one of those kind of places because like the amount of weirdness of people that you
Yeah.
see that late all in one place and sometimes it's packed at like 3 in the morning. You'll just see tons of people there. It's kind of crazy. Um, so yeah, that's when he sees the girl, Wendy. Was it Wendy Balsam?
Yeah.
That
Wendy.
was her name. That was the name that he told her to have in front of the parents. And then he's like, I love when she's like, he's trying to hide, and then she's right there with some other guy, and she's like, "Wait, Billy, I know you," or not Billy. I think she's like, "Wait, I know you."
Yeah, she
And
doesn't remember his name.
yeah, doesn't remember his name, and then we find out that like he he had a photo of her in that bowling locker, but he never actually dated her.
No, he made it up.
Liked her. Yeah, he just really liked her when he
He's
was young.
basically kind of like a loser.
Yeah, he's totally a loser. I mean, you can tell that he
Like,
like
please, you've never driven a Cadillac. Why are you lying?
yeah, of course not. He hasn't done anything. Like, where was he the 5 years before that? Was he living at home?
Probably.
Yeah, right? Because I mean, like, it doesn't seem like I don't know. It's his parents are totally like they don't even like who knows? Like they don't even know anything about him. Even when he was there, she didn't even. My mom didn't even remember that he was allergic to chocolate, which is really funny.
Yeah,
Don't you remember when I was like 7 and my face swelled
that
up?
was
We
really
had to go
funny.
to the
Yeah.
hospital. She's like, oh yeah, like, and they show that funny clip of him like as a kid, and like he's all like swollen up, which is really funny. So then they go to the motel, and he's like, "We need a room. We should get a room and just like like shower, whatever." I was like, "I'm obsessed with this room. I love old motels so much. I'm like literally obsessed with it." I was like, the lighting when you see them sitting on the bed,
I love that.
best,
Well, that was a
so
bit
good.
right, but I kept thinking that doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like it would have been nicer if he had been a little bit darker and just the lamps on.
I wonder if it was the film. I'm thinking
Maybe,
that's how they have to light it.
maybe.
Maybe it just made it look really dreamy.
It
It
did,
just
yeah, it did
really
look dreamy, yeah, it was nice.
yeah, it was really cool. I like that. And then one of my favorite scenes is like the sleeping scene, like when they keep moving and
Yeah,
changing. And
that's like my
that's
second favorite.
yeah, I love that. And then he wakes up after 2 and he's like gets ready to go, and then she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go out. I'm gonna get you hot chocolate, whatever. I'll be back. I'll be back in 5 minutes." And she's like, "Don't tell me you're not gonna be back if you're not. Like, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And then she says, "I love you," as he closes the door. I was like, why?
I
Why the
know.
fuck do you
I know girls like abusive men. I don't know.
Newsflash, ladies. No. No. This is not the biz. This is no. Like, I don't, and this is also like, I mean, some men who are like this is, I mean, most men, it's indicative of like a very large problem that they
Hmm.
have not dealt with in their life, and you do not want to be
Oh,
part
for
of that.
sure.
Like,
But
you
you
do not
don't
want to
know
be
that
part of
in your
it.
20s, though. You date douchey
No.
men, you know.
Yeah. This is why it is interesting to watch it all these years later, because I definitely never thought about any of this when I watched it before. I just thought it was like, like a movie, and this is what it was.
Yeah.
But
No, I
like,
know. It's,
Christina, get out. Like, this is not good. Um, so then he calls Rocky, his buddy. Oh, he actually like was really fucking mean to Rocky earlier. He was like,
what?
"You're ugly. You're
You're a
like,
retard.
yeah, like no one likes you." I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with this dude? Like, he's crazy. This is your only friend."
I know.
And then, of course, he calls him when he's outside the bar, and he's like, "I found them at the bar. I'm gonna go do it. So here's everything that, like, almost like a will, like, take care of this, do this, like." And the guy's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't do this, man. Don't do this. You're crazy." Because he's gonna shoot him because of this fucking bet. And I was like, "Why do you want to go back to jail? This is weird." So then
Mm.
I like when he goes in, and you see like the guy sitting with those strippers, and then he's like fucking in his underwear or some shit, which is weird.
Oh,
And
yeah. And the, the camera is just showing you he's like from like waist down.
yeah, it's like so
I
weird.
know.
And then he like pulls out that tiny little gun that he had in his bowling locker. It's like the tiniest gun ever. And then you see him shoot him, and then it's like that slow-mo with like the blood on the other side. That was
Yeah,
still pretty cool.
that was really cool. I agree. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
And then of course he shoots himself. Billy shoots himself, and then the like blood is like the same way. It's like frozen. Like you see his face all contorted, and then it's like frozen.
Yeah,
And then quickly it's like that's all in his head. And then he
I
thinks
like
about
that
it.
a lot actually.
Yeah, I did too. At first I was like, I don't remember. I didn't really remember the end when I was watching it. I was like, how does this movie end? I forgot. So then you just, and then it happens in his head, and then he just like all of a sudden kind of snaps out of it and like walks back, goes
Mm.
outside, and then calls his buddy again, and he's like, "Hey, forget everything I just told you. I met a girl. Like, I got this girlfriend, and like she's waiting for me, and I gotta go. I gotta go. I got someone who loves me." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, man, cool, whatever." So then he goes to that little coffee shop and gets her the hot chocolate. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. When this would make a lot more sense if you gave me some avenue as to like how you got there in 5 minutes.
Mm,
That's the only kind of like fail
I
that
know.
I have to say is I do like how it ends. I do like how he's like, "Oh, I've got someone who loves me," and that's literally all he ever wanted was someone who cared about him because no one seems to care about him at all. So it just felt very much like a strange jump, and I don't know how he got there.
Mm,
But I mean, I do know how he got there, but I feel like it didn't show me enough, I guess, how he got there. But I like the ending, and I like how he buys that heart cookie for that other guy.
yeah,
It's like,
I
"You have
like
a
that.
birthday,
I like
buy
that.
buy a heart cookie." That was really cute. And then at the end, he just like comes back to her, and then that's it.
Yeah.
The end.
I mean, I don't know. I think I am so like I just love the mood and the set and the fashion so much, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you have for all that? What are your notes for that?
Yeah, I mean, considering like it's all set like filming one day, kind of like maybe yeah,
Mm.
kind of like one day, really.
Yeah, I think it's
And
one day.
I feel really smart, like the use of wardrobe, how he wears just one outfit, but then by taking his jacket off and then giving it to like Layla, and then he has like another outfit on, basically, especially at
Yeah.
the bottom, you know, because he's got the striped t-shirt with the pants and the bowling shoes. That actually looks really cool together, by
Mhm.
the way.
Yeah, it does. It does really. I always like bowling shoes.
I know, no, they're cool. And yeah, I mean, like, I give him that. He's just so talented, you know?
Hmm.
He, like, didn't have, like, a wardrobe person and, like, a costume designer. He just, like, it was all him. And the detail, like, to shoot a movie, like, on film, and you have to have, like, for example, makeup like that on point all the time, because you can't go back and see, what you film, basically.
Yeah.
And even at the street, like, I love the scene where he's at strip club. I think
Hmm.
that's also, like, really beautifully, like, shot and, like, really striking, It
Hmm.
really reminded me the part where you can see the strippers, like, dancing in, like, almost, like, in 3 sections, that really reminded me of, like, A Clockwork Orange, like, the scene at the milk bar. It's very similar. It's very
Okay.
inspired by that, I thought. Very inspired by that, like the colors and the set design, everything. And even the makeup of one of the strippers, like, not all, but there is one girl, the one that's kind of far away from him, and then she stares at him. She has similar makeup to Christina Ricci's too, like really cool eyeshadow and, like,
Oh,
glitter.
cool.
I just think it's just so much attention to detail that I love, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's very detailed for such a like
It's so
lo-fi.
beautiful. Like, his hair looks incredible literally the whole time.
I
Like,
know. His hair does look really cool.
and I just love the set. I think that the fact that that house, clearly that's how it looks. It wasn't like, I don't think they got props. That's just how the
Yeah,
original house interiors, and her car, all the scenes shot outside the motel, like them walking at night. I just love it. I love it. I love
it
everything
is
about
really
it.
cool. It is super cool. I also really like I have like the same notes. I like the desaturated colors, like buffalo. Like I like how you see buffalo a lot, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool. And
Yeah.
I really like, I think I'm going to try to shoot more this winter. I feel like
Yeah.
winter just has a really like weird look.
Yeah.
It's
That's
really
why I love
stark
winter so
and
much. Yeah. It's
yeah,
just
it's like
more
really
interesting.
stark and yeah, and I feel like what they were wearing was not warm enough for where they were
No,
because
no, no, it
Buffalo's
wasn't.
so cold. So I'm
Yeah.
like, how did they even just walk around like that little jacket? Like it's so cold up there. And I mean, we already talked about how amazing Christina looks throughout the whole thing. I think
Yeah.
she's
And
so
she has
cool.
one outfit the entire movie, but it's so stunning,
So
Like,
cool.
those tights and, like, those shoes are everything, literally.
Yeah. I also love the score when they're in the sleeping scene.
Yeah, I was gonna
Very like
say that.
60s, like kind of jazzy, like with the sax. Like I
Yeah.
really like the
Oh,
score, which
his music is great.
yeah,
It's
I was
just
gonna say he did the music. There's like 2 songs in it, I think. There's like 2 songs in the film. There's like one by Yes,
yeah,
and
which I love. It's called
yeah,
Sweetness, yeah.
and then like one other one, I think. But
It's called Heart of Sunrise, yeah.
oh, okay, yeah. And then everything else I think is like him and
Yeah.
scored and everything.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean it's so cool.
I really like a song, that by him called "A Feeling Down Billy Brown." It's basically it's no lyrics, it's just music. It's really pretty, really beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, everything was just great. I mean, to make a movie like that,
I mean it's a really good debut film, like for
Mhm.
your first like director and directorial debut or whatever. It's really good.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't do more.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
who
really don't know.
knows?
Who knows? Yeah, we don't know. I'm gonna ask some of my people that I know in
Yeah,
the
you should.
movie,
Tell
yeah, and be
me.
like, "Do you know anything about why he doesn't work anymore? Is it by choice? Like, does he just not want to? Like, maybe he doesn't have to at this point. So he can do whatever he wants, or wait till something pops up that he can wants to write or do." What are your favorite scenes?
Mm, okay, favorite scene when Layla is, like, tap dancing at the bowling. Like,
Yeah, same.
it's so dreamy, and it's so perfect because I was, like, actually really listening to the tapping, and it really just came together with the song. It was, like, perfectly timed, you know?
Yeah, it's super cool. It's so cool that she choreographed it.
I know, it's really cute. And when they are in the motel in bed and they're like, it reminded me of something, but reminded me of another movie, that scene. I just can't
When
remember
they're
it.
sleeping?
Pardon?
When they're sleeping, that part?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it definitely, yeah, it reminded me so much. The way it was like filmed as well from like high, like framing the bed. And yeah, I
There's so
just was
many.
really, pardon?
There's so many like cool scenes that he films like bird's eye. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many, which is really cool.
I think those two are my favorite just because, like, visually as well, they're really strong. But I like that he's actually sweet for once in the entire film there.
Yeah, I like this too. I
What are
have
yours?
mine are the same, the sleeping scene, Layla dancing at the bowling alley, and my third one is just the scenes with the parents. I
Oh,
think are
yeah.
just really funny because it's just funny that it's Angelica Houston and that she's obsessed with this game. And I love that when they ask for the baby pictures and she's like, "Where's that one picture? Where's that picture of Billy?" And she has this whole photo album of like all like OJ who was on the Buffalo Bills, like all these like football people that she's standing with in the pictures, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, where's that one picture of Billy? Honey, can you find that one picture?" Like he just has this one photo. He's like, "Oh yeah, here," and just like slaps this one picture down, which I think
Yeah,
is
she
really
played that role so well. She's like really funny, like,
yeah, so funny.
yeah, and funny at the same time.
Yeah, totally. I think it's funny. Like I think sports fanatics are really funny. Like people who are like really into sports.
Yeah,
Where
I haven't met anyone, to be honest, like in like real life. I haven't met anyone like that.
and even at the grave, she was like, remember she was like listening to the game.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is so funny. And then he's like, I gotta go. I'm hungry. Like the dad, he's like, I gotta go. I'm hungry. I don't want to sit here all day. Do you have
Yeah.
any war scenes?
Just that one where he kidnaps her, actually.
Yeah, I just have
Like,
every scene where he's
how
yelling
he
at her.
grabs her and he's covering. I find that so disturbing in so many levels, more than like I know it's just like a guy grabbing you, covering your mouth like that. It's so
Mhm. From
terrifying. It's
behind.
like I feel physical pain watching anything
Yeah,
like that because you just think I'm a woman and you just feel it. You just
yeah,
like,
totally. And like that's your like fear.
that's
You
your
know?
fear, literally being grabbed by a fucking psychopath. Like,
Yeah, it's literally like your biggest fear. I mean, for good reason. Like it's
yeah.
fucking terrifying. Do you have any '90s moments?
Wait, what's yours?
Oh, my worst scene is anytime he's yelling at her. Which
Yeah,
is annoying.
which is like a lot.
Yeah, which I find really like just unsettling when he's just constantly berating her for doing nothing. Like
Mhm.
literally doing nothing.
Well, this is 90s, but it's also kind of 60s. And again, it's like styling, really, because that the whole baby doll situation, with like powder blue tights and the eyeshadow, and that was obviously 60s. But I feel that in the 90s, it came back with the red lips this time.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I guess it's 60s, but it's 90s really, because so many people were doing it too.
Yeah, and '70s came back in the
70s
'90s.
come back to, yeah. 90s, what else was 90s? I mean, so many things like phones.
Yeah, I have the incredible amount of payphones in this film.
Oh,
He's
payphones,
constantly
yeah.
on a payphone, like all the
Sure.
time.
I remember when then they changed it to a car and then you had to buy this car for credit and it was really annoying.
Oh, we don't have that. We still have the coins if you can find them. We don't have cards.
We had that. It's just like so annoying. I was like,
Yeah, that must suck.
you have to ask people to let you to let you use their card to make a call.
Oh, so what, you would like give them the like change and then be like, "Can I use your
Yeah,
card?"
yeah, basically.
How could you load them?
I
Like
don't
you'd have to go to like a
no,
bodega
no,
or
no,
something?
and it was just like you bought a card with a certain amount, like $5, for example.
Oh,
I
and you
think
couldn't oh,
$5.
you had to use it
No,
up
you
and then
couldn't
just throw
top
it
up.
away.
This is before, like, yeah, before, yeah.
Oh, damn. Yes, you just had to keep buying
Came
cards.
later in the 90s. This was in the 90s.
Yeah, 98. I remember calling cards, like when you would call international here, people would buy cards. But if
Yeah.
you were just doing local calls, you just use the change. or like you just use national calls. You
Oh
just use it like.
yeah. What
Then
else
it was.
90s? I'm trying to
Then I
think.
have the smoking and non-smoking section in the
Oh
Denny's.
yeah, of course.
So they
Smoking
went
and
in and he
not
was smoking
smoking.
the non. I was like, oh, that's so 90s. And it was so gross. And I don't know how the fuck they thought that like separating a restaurant would somehow make you like not smell the smoke.
Well, we were just used to it. That's just how it
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
you know?
But it makes no sense. You're all in the same building. You're
I
in the
know.
same room. It's like close the door off or something. Like close the room out if you really want to. But I know it's so weird now to think about it. To think that they were like
So
smoking
weird.
in restaurants, like while you're eating.
Yeah.
Just it's kind of gross. And it's probably super stale, like the air.
Oh
Like
God.
there's
Yeah.
no like filtration.
I mean,
Like
someone walked past me and he was smoking like real like cigarettes, like tobacco.
Mhm.
And we were outside on the street and I was like, okay, this is like too much. Like the smell is so repulsive.
Yeah, sometimes it makes me kind of nauseous.
But at the
Like
same
just
time I want to smoke sometimes, so
yeah, I know. I was like, and sometimes I'm like, oh, the other day I was having lunch with my friend and he was like, I'm smoking. It's been a rough week. He like
yeah.
pulled out a pack of
So like
cigarettes.
a week ago when we were waiting for the results, I genuinely was so close to like buy a packet of cigarettes.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, I need a cigarette. Like,
it's just crazy.
we didn't do favorite lines.
Oh yeah, do you have any? I don't have
Yes,
any. Oh
I
yeah, what are
do.
yours?
I do. Okay. I it's
Good,
really
'cause I
funny, really. Billy Brown says, "You adore me, you love me, you cherish me. Jesus Christ, you can't live without me."
God. Wow.
And then he says, "Today is your big debut, your big break. This is acting. You're my wife." And the last one, we're the couple that doesn't touch one another.
I know, that's pretty funny. I don't know what I'm gonna title this. I was gonna think like spanning time. We're time spanning.
I know, so weird. I was like, I don't actually understand what he's saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't either. And then I was like, oh, time spanning. I get it. Like spanning time. Like these photos are to span time, but you never say it as a verb.
no.
Like you're never time spanning. Like that's not a thing, but it's kind of funny. That's what he said.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. So wait, what grade would you give this film now on the rewatch
Ah,
out of what is this? Let's do out of grades, like A to F.
oh, oh no, this is bad.
Bad?
Well, yeah, because like, it's really hard to rate it because I love so much about it, but then there are parts that are terrible in because of because he's abusive. So it's really
Mhm.
hard to rate it. But I think I'm gonna give it a B because I generally do love it.
Ooh, I was gonna go B minus.
B
So
minus. Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah, around the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because of subject matter,
Yeah. Exactly.
is like an F, but
Yeah.
like aesthetically and like story wise, it
Yeah.
actually is an interesting story.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I would give it like a bit higher. So like B minus.
And I have to say, if I was to make a film, this is totally the style that it would be in.
Yeah, it's very cool. It very much feels like he's inspired by like the French New Wave.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. You can totally tell.
I
Yeah.
bet he lives in France. I bet he's buddies with like some French directors.
Probably.
I have like that Euro French vibe from him. Totally. He doesn't even seem like he's from the States. I'm always so
No,
surprised that he is.
he like genuinely looks European. I don't know what his back. I don't know if any
Both
he's
parents are from Sicily.
okay. Well, he looks totally that.
Yeah, they
He looks
emigrated.
Italian. Yeah.
Yeah. But he still just has a very like non-American vibe. I mean, I just
Totally.
it is, but except for when he talks, that's so like upstate New York.
Mm,
That's the only thing that I'm like, once you don't, when you just see him, he looks like he could be like European or like from another country. But then when you hear him and his mannerisms, that's totally America. Like, right. Like just the way he talks and his accent and demeanor, like that's very much like that aggressive New York like type.
hmm.
Kind of. But yeah, wow, this has been an interesting journey. I like when we have these weird kind of like controversial like vibes.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It was like when we did the kids episode. It was like, yeah, this is not like gonna be a sunny, rosy movie, but it's worth talking about.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'd be surprised, like, not surprised, but I'd be interested in hearing whether people actually really like this film, like,
Yeah.
or how big it is, like, how known. Like,
Yeah, I think now I think it's gotten it definitely is one of those films that you see a lot on like Tumblr and
oh,
like
really?
Pinterest. Yeah, at least on my
I don't
feeds.
have
Yeah.
either, so I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely see them on like Tumblr and Pinterest and
I
stuff.
have
Like you
Pinterest, but I never see that.
Oh yeah.
Do you know we were saying, like, I wonder what he's doing, why he hasn't done any more films? I just found that he purchased a $3.25 million house, like, in 2018, designed by
Oh.
a really cool architect in, where is Tucson? Tucson, is that Arizona?
Oh yeah, Tucson.
Tucson, thank you.
Yeah, Arizona, yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
so he
He's like
clearly
out
has
west.
money and he doesn't need to work,
Yeah,
because
maybe he doesn't.
he purchased his home and looks really cool. I'm looking at photos.
Oh, wow. Well, good for him, man. I'd like
Yeah.
to be able to like buy houses.
I mean, this
Like,
house is sick. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. It's really
yeah, God,
cool.
yeah, I want to see
So
it.
yeah, I mean, maybe he's in real estate, and so he doesn't need to work.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, you can just keep selling things.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Cool. Well, yay, this has been another exciting episode. I'm excited that this is coming out actually tomorrow.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're actually on schedule. Usually we have stuff recorded ahead of time. So now we're actually kind of on schedule. So
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, that's my fault.
What?
Because I haven't been able to do any podcast.
No, it's not your fault. No, I mean we have them like ready. It's actually cool that it's topical and we get to finally talk about the fact that we have a new Prezi coming.
We do, and DC feels pretty cool right now.
I know. Let's just hope we get through these last 2 months.
Yeah, people. I have to say, people are really happy. Everyone I encounter, like, it definitely feels like kind of like weights been lifted off your shoulders in a way. Like, for most people, I think.
It's true. So yeah, man, this is exciting. The next thing you'll hear will be Rules of Attraction, which is our current
Yay!
day film coming
Are
on
you
Sunday.
doing that with?
Mikey and Charles.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I think I saw it with Mikey, maybe like in the theater. I saw it in the theater.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I saw it twice. I love Rules of Attraction. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. And it's Shannon Sossman, who's so fucking cool in that movie. She just looks so awesome and she has that cool haircut. But yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, like and subscribe. We already said it in the beginning, but if you got this far, then like and subscribe, follow on Spotify, I guess, is the way you can show love instead of
Oh yeah.
reviews.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.